Hey guys, so I'm playing some more Tales of Xillia 2 now, and one of the users commented that they weren't familiar with the story and whatnot. So this video is just going to be me talking a little bit about Tales of Xillia and playing the game while I do it, so I'm multitasking a little bit. So Tales of Xillia is action RPG, Tales of series. It's standalone story-wise from the other Tales of games. There are references and common themes and stuff. Honestly, even the stories are often similar between Tales of games. But Tales of Xillia and Tales of Xillia 2 are directly related, and I believe this takes place about a year after Tales of Xillia. So, in Tales of Xillia, you play as either Jude or Mila, who we haven't met. So Jude is pretty much the main character, Mila is like an alternate main character. They're supposed to be on equal standing, but I feel like Jude gets a little bit more attention. But anyway, he's actually the main character of the previous game, and in that game there was a big war, and he met a lot of friends, such as this guy, Alvin, and they saved the world, essentially. Well, not... maybe that's a little bit of a stretch. They changed the world. So I'll discuss that a little bit more as I continue to play. My dudes are really low on TP. I usually don't use items, but I'll make an exception right now. So, essentially, you have humans and spirits, and they coexist. And spirits let you use what are called spirit arts. They're essentially like spells or magic in any other game. Just in this case, everything revolves around mana, which you've probably heard the term, and Rize Maxians, or people from this world called Rize Maxia, can use what's called spirit arts, which is pretty much they can do magic. That's what it boils down to. I don't want to overcomplicate things with jargon, so I won't overcomplicate things very much. So there are also people in this other world called Olympius, and they were separated by a barrier called the Schism. So the Schism was this big barrier that divided the two worlds, and the thing with Olympians is that they're biologically different, and that they don't have these things called mana lobes. Essentially, they can't use spirit arts, and that makes life a lot more difficult. So as a replacement for spirit arts, they use what's called Spyrex.
Watch out!
And, oh, cutscene. I think I know what happens a little bit.
Whew, that's the last of them.
Elise!
So this is another returning character.
Wait, so those Goodwill ambassadors were actually...
Yeah, my classmates and I were picked to represent Rize Maxia.
Meet Elise and Tipo.
Left or right, left or right, left or right. It doesn't really matter.
Yes, it must be weird for Olympians to see something like that. Sorry.
She might not look like it, but Elise here is a spirit art genius.
She might
Probably...
not look like it? That's not very nice.
There's just, interrupting real quick, there's this thing called affinity, which is essentially you can bond with other people and it makes you stronger or something. I'm not really a fan of it in this game. But regardless, if I had picked the left answer, she probably would have had a higher affinity with me or whatever. As you can see now, she's not as happy.
So Jude, are these friends of yours?
Hey there, how you doing? Back off.
Oh, Chipo's not gonna hurt you. Play nice, okay?
Okay. Maybe later.
Elise, what happened to your friends from school?
We all got attacked real sudden like.
Good thing I brought Tipo along today.
Elise was so brave, she got all her classmates into a room that was safe. What about Balin?
He got all the bad guys to chase after him, so the rest of us could run and hide.
I bet you he's still on top of the development wing.
Ah, isn't
Yeah,
he so brave?
so I came down here to call for help.
Can you lead us?
Of course. What's the matter, Elle? Are you afraid of thunder?
No, as if.
Okay.
Did you feel that?
Something changed. I don't know what happens
Afraid. I mean,
story-wise.
because
I'm not
This is a
afraid.
blind playthrough.
Thunder is just the great spirits going forward.
that's the wrong way.
I knew that.
Okay, so we got Elise to join our party. So while all that is happening, oh, everyone got healed too. Great. So I use those items for pretty much nothing. Huh? All right, I see how it is. Shoot, I got a lot to cover. Save real quick. Save a little faster. That'd be nice. Okay. Talked about the schism, that's the barrier that divided the people. So now the barrier is gone, and now these two worlds have to get along together.
Let's show 'em. Blasting your foes from afar is so satisfying.
They're also what's called
Though if you missed, your friends would be mad at you. Yeah, better be careful.
they're also what's called great spirits, which are essentially more powerful spirits. And they're also Spyrexes are like machines that they're like replacements for spirit arts, but they kill spirits, so they're essentially bad. And the plot of the last game was essentially oh no, spirit arts are bad, or Spyrexes are bad. We need to stop the Spyrexes. But then they realized that people relied on Spyrexes for basic functions. Spyrexes are important for people. The Olympians had got used to it. You can't just take away an energy resource like that. It'd be like taking away oil for people today. It's just so essential. So in dispelling the schism, the barrier, the mana that makes it up is used to buy some time. And in the meantime, Jude and others are trying to make this technology of sorts called Spyrites be a replacement. Spyrites are, you'll see what they are later. Essentially, they're supposed to be the replacement for Spyrexes, but they're a work in progress. I guess I'll just keep talking as I play to explain the game a bit. So what I just picked up was Elemental Ore. Elemental Ore upgrades this thing called the Allium Orb. The more points you get, like it says 230 out of 500, the more points you get, the closer you are to getting skills. So as you can see, there's a lot of different skills and such to get here. So getting it is good. I mean, I can only say so much about that. You'll find that items are kind of put about all over. In this case, we are in a dungeon, so there aren't as many as other places. But there's still,
Hey, you sense something weird?
Yeah, every time I look at you.
shots fired. Yeah, like on the world map, when you're like traveling on high roads and stuff, there's a lot more items. They're practically everywhere. Okay, you can use the elevator this time. That's interesting. The last time we were here, this is actually a reused dungeon. The last time we were here was in Tales of Xillia, and you could not use the elevator because the electricity was down. So you had to go manually up the stairs. Of course, it'd be too convenient
So,
if you could use the
any of the
elevator.
boys at school catch your eye?
If they did, I certainly wouldn't tell you.
Elise and Alvin have a interesting relationship. What item did I even get just now? I was just not paying attention. Silk cloak. I feel like someone should wear this. Yeah, that is a big increase. Okay, so this guy, one of his things is he has multiple weapons, which makes things rather interesting. So far, he only quote has 2 weapon types, but I know he gets a 3rd one later, and that's just some spoilers are unavoidable. But for the most part, I'm not spoiled on this game. This is a blind playthrough. Honestly, I'm not a huge fan of the guns, but they do power damage, and I might as well try them out. So yeah, Tipo versus Rolo. Hey, it's not a competition, guys. Let's see what the skit's about. So skits are...
I understand that you're Luger's cat.
I'll say after this.
Hey there, I'm Tipo. My, what a splendid belly you have there. I meant it in a good way.
Tipo, you have to try to get along.
Your soft paw pads and my soft body, we're comrades in squishiness. Oh my gosh, Rolo's paw pads are so... Oh my gosh.
You're more delightfully squishy than Tipo. We've been beaten.
Teach me your squishy ways, master.
I don't even get why Rolo's with them, honestly. He's just like a cat. It's like, yeah, I can be with you, so why not? Okay. That's great logic. So skits are pretty much just conversations that aren't usually relevant. They might give a little bit of insight, or they might just be entertaining, like that one. They're very common in Tales of games. I appreciate them for what they're worth. They're usually pretty entertaining, mainly the funny ones.
Nothing can...
I'm just kind of exploring as much as I can. I could have gone up that elevator, but decided not to. So what else? So there were 6 characters in Tales of Xillia that were playable. Pretty sure we'll be meeting all of them again. We get to play them again. And on top of it, we have new characters. So Ludger and Luger and L were not playable in the previous game. In fact, they weren't even introduced. So while some sequels, they expand a lot on the previous game, and you might get to play as characters that you saw or something like that. In this game, we didn't meet Luger or L in the previous game, along with some other characters in this game. So there are some returning characters that were really relevant, but it's not like, it's hard to explain, but it's not like other games where, like, you say you meet an NPC who doesn't seem relevant, and it's like, oh, like, who's this guy? Oh, he does this? Okay, that's cool. But you don't play as them. In this game, they're only introduced when they're relevant.
Yes.
I've got to get
If that
stronger.
makes sense. So I think that's why we never saw Luger, and L, because they had no role in the previous plot. So we couldn't just, meet them by chance and then it'd be like, oh, whoa, you can see them in the original game. I think that kind of thing would be pretty cool. What I'm doing right now is you might notice that when I enter a battle, there's different color slashes. I think there's purple, dark blue, and light blue. You can get behind enemies, and in doing so, it gives you an advantage. You can do a little bit of damage to them, you can do damage and stun, or you can just enter a battle normally. You can also have, I think, red, which is a bag attack. It's pretty rare, so that's normal, that's purple. These enemies are actually pretty familiar because we fought them in the last game. And this game reuses a lot of assets. It's actually one of the main beefs with this game, but if you haven't played Tales of Xillia, I guess it's not as bad because then you're not familiar with it. I actually just beat Tales of Xillia the day before this came out, I was doing a playthrough of Mila's side. So there are like 2 paths, and I took the one that I didn't take the last time, and I just beat that. So for me, this is pretty familiar, which is nice because part of the reason why I did that playthrough and I wanted to finish it was I thought it'd be cool to make comparisons and such.
Now I have this.
So like now,
Good.
I can like compare this to the previous dungeon. There was a save point, I think, that wasn't there anymore. That kind of thing. For the most part, it's the same. But
We got this. Over already?
So let's talk about Tales of Xillia 2 now, because we've talked a lot about this game. I've talked about a lot about this game. So in Tales of Xillia 2, we have Luger, who has an older brother named Julius, and he was going to become a part of this corporation called the Spurious Corporation. Honestly, I don't fully understand their role myself.
Man, I feel.
I can't say a ton about them because I just don't remember. They didn't really exist in the previous game, but I know at a basic level they are. They're a big corporation. They have this important guy in red that I'm not really uploading the cutscenes very much. I sometimes upload the cutscenes like right before the bosses. Julius works for them, and they're big and they do important stuff. Honestly, I can't tell you much more than that. I think they have to deal with the changes in shifting from Spyrexes to what's it called? Spyrexes to Spyrites. I think they might manage trains a little bit. They might have multiple purposes. So anyway, he didn't make it, and so he was actually going to become a cook. But when he took the train to becoming a cook, he got involved in this crazy thing.
Pretty cool sword, right? It's a blade and a gun.
Guess even grown-up boys still want to play with toys.
And all little girls have smart mouths.
I've gotta get stronger.
Dark brush. I don't think I had that as an art in the previous game. So there are even a few new arts, which is nice because it'd be a little bit boring if we only got the arts that we'd seen in the previous game. Oh shoot, did I really go in the exit that I was trying to explore, so I should have gone and taken the other one. Alright, for the sake of not battling, I didn't actually think I'd have to use this, but that was kind of a scrub mistake on my part. So the holy bottle just keeps enemies away from you. In this game, you can kind of control your encounters, but enemies will chase after you to a certain extent. So is this where it came out from? Okay. So all of that was pretty much useless. I'm just going in circles right now. That's cool, that's cool. I can respect that. No, not really. I'm just being dumb. Why not? Just fight back. So he got messed up in this incident, and apparently the culprit is his brother. And during the incident, he got injured, and then he got healed, but the cost for that, it was kind of a scam, and it couldn't really be helped, but now he owes 20 million galt. So part of the game is repaying this debt, which is just a huge debt, and it's pretty annoying. It just kind of stalls the game, and you're just kind of forced to deal with this debt. So I think I've pretty much explored everywhere, so I'm going to stop delaying myself. Speaking of delays, I'm going to head back to that elevator because I'm pretty sure that's where I should be going right now. Yeah, RPGs take me a while because I don't like missing out on stuff, and honestly, even making those small decisions in the conversations and stuff, sometimes I get OCD about it, and I try and hold it back, but sometimes just like, man, I have to know like what they say in the other option, so I'll like use my save file to go back and load that version, and then go through the cutscene again, and see what it's like. So That's just me. I probably take a little bit longer than most people to play RPGs. Even when I'm doing second playthroughs, I often have a hard time skipping the cutscenes because I'm just like, oh, I don't remember exactly what they say, or like I just want to, you know, experience it again or whatever. At the same time, it's kind of ironic because I don't actually do second playthroughs very often.
Hey, you did it! Quickest.
I have this huge backlog, and as a result, I don't really have the liberty of doing a lot of multiple playthroughs. And also, if you know, sometimes I just get bored of games. I'm just like, I don't want to. I'd rather play a new game or something like that. So second playthroughs are kind of rare, but for Tales of games, I usually play them twice. They're one of my favorite series. I really enjoy the gameplay, and they all have this thing called New Game Plus, which...
We have your wallet surrounded. Give up the gold and nobody gets hurt.
Okay, so this is the debt thing. As you can see, it's kind of a joke, in multiple senses of the word. So, this chick called Nova keeps harassing me for money. I'll give her some this time.
No wasting money, Luger. Cash goes into the bank. Fish go into the tank.
And she just randomly pops up. Apparently when I get money, is one of the times. But I think it might be other times as well. Yeah, it's not very fun. She just kind of harasses me. That's what people from the bank do. I guess it's trying to teach us a lesson about debt collection or something. I don't know, man. This game's way too deep for me. Let's try... I think I already went through there. Let's try going up these stairs after the skit.
Looks like you've had quite a makeover there, Elise.
Oh, Drissel brought me these clothes for my Olympias trip.
And she and her friends at school all got matching ribbons.
Look at you being all social.
What about you? For a merchant, you look kinda shifty.
My partner is the nice guy type, so I get to be the bad cop. What can I say? The role fits.
Look at you being all social.
I see T-Bo is with you again.
Yeah, she locked me away for a while there.
My friends and I promised we'd show each other our plush dolls on this trip.
She wants everyone to see my cuteness.
Huh?
Because Chipo's adorable, isn't he?
Isn't he?
Uh-oh.
They're not horns.
Renowned for my softness, yet he talks about horns?
I said the exact same thing once.
You two really are birds of a feather.
Okay, I should probably explain that a little bit. So first of all, Elise looked a lot different before, and in fact, I like her new look a lot better. She's less annoying. In fact, she's almost cool now. Before, she was this just really annoying character, whiny and that kind of thing. She has this quote-unquote doll called Tipo. Tipo's actually this thing called a booster. Essentially, Tipo is a weapon. That's the very simple explanation. At the end of Tales of Xillia, she locks Tipo away because Tipo also doubles as this thing to help Elise with her social skills and kind of be Elise's friend and stuff. But Elise ends up improving. She was locked away in a house for a while, but she ends up improving her social skills. And then it's like, oh, I don't need Tipo anymore. So because she wasn't, reliant on Tipo anymore, she kind of grew up, quote unquote, and put him away. But they invented an excuse to bring Tipo back because she kind of needs him to fight. And Tipo's kind of a very interesting mascot character of sorts, along with Rolo, who seems to be the new mascot. Right now what we're doing is there was an attack on this research facility, and we're looking for this guy named Balin so that we can find out information about Luger's brother, Julius, who is apparently a bad guy, and we're trying to chase him down because the boss of the Spurious Corporation told us to. Yeah, that's kind of a mouthful. Was I here before? Functions are currently disabled. Okay. I don't comprehend why they would be disabled. Whatever. It's kind of more fun to play with blades, even though guns are better in this case. Luger's kind of OP. Like I hardly took damage for most of the game, really. It's not very hard. He can kind of like infinite combo stuff, and he's quick enough that he can get away from most attacks. Oh yeah, so this is like exactly the same as it was in Tales of Xillia. You gotta take this one out instead of jumping onto blocks. So you've got chests and usual RPG stuff. What can I say? He's already got that. Yeah, there we go. So, an armor upgrade for Alvin. That's nice, I guess. That's kind of good to explore. You can save some money in that regard.
I sure hope Balin's okay.
Well, if there's one thing Balin's good at, it's looking out for Balin.
Balin is not only the guy we're looking for, he's sort of an important character with this research and the spy rights. He actually gave the characters in the original Xillia the solution they were looking for as far as spy rights are concerned. I don't get why this thing's broken. 12F secured room. Could this be the room where the children are? Except I don't see anyone here. Sometimes there are hidden items here, but I haven't really found any. I think you might have actually seen me looking. I probably didn't explain myself. There's a pretty ribbon. That's nice, I guess. Can't complain about pretty ribbons. Can Luger wear the pretty ribbon? Just kidding. Yeah, give him some boots, why not? Yeah, I've also got some, so for playing other Tales of games and having save and clear data, you can get little bonuses. Other Tales of games for the system are Tales of Grace's F, Tales of Xillia, and Tales of Xillia 2 is this one. Tales of Zestiria is coming, and Tales of Vesperia also has a version on PS3, but said version is only available in Japanese. It's a Japan exclusive, essentially. I imported it, but I don't think Namco Bandai expects most people to import it. So because of that, I probably didn't get any bonuses for having the game and beating it. Oh, so that's a back attack. It's not that bad.
The strongest salesman in the world.
Still only took less than 10 seconds. So back attacks really aren't that bad. It just means you don't get a bonus and they end up a little bit closer to you. I guess it can make things a little bit difficult for your spellcaster, but at this point I'm not having any trouble. I'm playing normal mode.
We got this.
As you can see, I'm just completely tearing apart these guys.
Well, yeah, that's the look I want. It's manly and pretty cool, right?
No, it's not cool.
Yeah, you'll never get a girlfriend looking like that.
Man, always busting my chops.
That's what I meant by Elise and Alvin have a very interesting relationship. Really, they are like friends and they enjoy each other's company, to say the least. But it's a very teasing and odd relationship. Don't ask me how it turned out that way. Go play Xillia if you want to know. Alvin's actually kind of not a totally cool dude. In the previous game, he betrays you quite a bit. He acts really mature, but really he's kind of not. Is this where I'm supposed to go? Wow, there's a save point here. Very suspicious. In the previous game, this is where we went to fight a boss called Volt. We went to the rooftop, so we'll see how it is if I do encounter the boss, then I'm actually going to split the recording and... Yep, I think there's gonna be a boss. Maybe.
What the heck is that?
It's the Spyrite Vault!
I remember that tingly feeling.
So they recreated it?
But we can't even control it.
Oh, boss battle. Okay. Well then, I will be back without any commentary.